Today, the religious right tried to cynically piggyback on my story, questioning the authenticity of Sam Brinton's conversion therapy testimony. The non-binary activist story included alleged torture with heat and ice. Brinton is also the government nuclear engineer, charged with stealing expensive luggage at 2 airports. In the Daily Signal, a right-wing rag, Dr. Joseph Nicolosi Jr. wrote, quote, "Some of us warned long ago about Brinton's lies. I doubt that many states which have banned legitimate therapy will reverse course now that he's been outed." What Dr. Joseph Nicolosi Jr. said is demonstrably false. All 20 states that have banned conversion therapy for minors would have done so without Sam's testimony. They were one of many experts who shared their true and verifiable stories of psychological voodoo practiced at the hands of therapists like Nicolosi Jr. and their notorious father, Joe Nicolosi Sr. The chutzpah of Dr. Nicolosi Jr. is stunning. He's on his high horse, demanding accountability from LGBTQ organizations. He's screaming, "Do background checks on spokespeople," which I agree with. But is Nicolosi Jr. the right person to be demanding accountability? His late father, Joe Sr., had named Arthur Abba Goldberg as the executive secretary of NARTH, which is the conversion therapy organization he started. In 2010, my organization, Truth Wins Out, joined the South Florida Gay News in revealing that Goldberg was a convicted felon who had served hard time in prison for his role as a notorious Wall Street con artist. When Goldberg left prison, he entered the conversion therapy industry. He tricked people by concealing his identity, specifically dropping his middle name Abba and going by the more pedestrian name Arthur Goldberg. My quote at the time of this scandal was, "We have long considered Arthur Goldberg a con artist, but our investigation shows he's also an ex-con." Either Nicolosi Sr. didn't care that his organization was harboring a criminal who was convicted of orchestrating a scheme of selling $2 billion in fraudulent municipal bonds, or Nicolosi failed to properly vet Goldberg. So I'm not sure why Nicolosi Jr. thinks he's an authority or beacon of integrity, considering his family conversion therapy business never fact-checked its own corrupt leaders, including those who have gone to prison. As for Abba Goldberg's organization, Jews Offering New Alternatives to Homosexuality, or Jonah, it was eventually shut down by a jury in New Jersey for committing consumer fraud. In one example of his father's shocking unprofessionalism, he worked closely with Dr. Chris Austin, a Texas quack, who was arrested for abusing his clients. Austin tried to cure LGBTQ people with ammonia capsules and rubber bands.
One of the first ones that they introduced to me was rubber band therapy. That didn't work. He would have me thinking about, being with a man. And eventually, he would pop an ammonia capsule under my nose.
Every respected medical and mental health organization in the world rejects such dangerous quackery as harmful and fraudulent. Dr. Nicolosi's father was accused by real scientists of habitually distorting their work for political gain.
Dr. Nicolosi, you know exactly what you're doing. This is a willful misuse and distortion of my research, and it's illegitimate and it's irresponsible, and you know that, and you should stop.
One reason no one takes conversion therapy seriously is because of its creepy and bizarre techniques. For example, Dr. Nicolosi Jr.'s father said one way to prevent homosexuality was for dads to take showers naked with their sons. So one can imagine how Dr. Nicolosi Jr. might have a few unresolved daddy issues. It's also ironic that Nicolosi Jr. would slam LGBT organizations for not properly vetting spokespeople. His father worked with Quack therapist Richard Cohen, a cult member, best known for angrily beating an effigy of his mother with a tennis racket.
"Mom, why did you do that to me?"
Looks like legit therapy to me. What about you? Nicolosi's father also embraced Christopher Doyle, a conversion therapist who once admitted, quote, "I tried to have sex with the little girls that my mother watched in her daycare, and eventually one of the girls told her parents what I was doing. Should that guy be practicing therapy with children today?" Finally, in the category of lacking self-awareness, Sam Brinton isn't the only one with a sordid luggage story. Dr. Nicolosi's father worked closely with the gay cure doctor George Riekers, at least until Riekers was caught at Miami National Airport vacationing with a sex worker known as a rent boy. When the media asked Riekers about the peculiar situation, Rieker said that he only hired the hunky male escort because he had a bad back and needed someone to lift his luggage. Well, that's conversion therapy for you, and now you know why we're banning it everywhere we can, Junior. Before you piggyback on Sam Brinton's luggage scandal, you might want to consider dealing with your sick movement's own baggage. Sure, we may have one person who might not be telling the truth. Your entire so-called movement is built on a rotten foundation of deception and lies.